fire. Loving is dope. Learning to grow, learning to hope. Let go of the past, release the ropes.
Learning to love, yeah, yeah. Learning to love with April love. Learning to love, yeah, yeah. Learning to love with April love. Learning to love, yeah. Inspired by God, lifted in love, yeah. Learning to love, yeah, yeah. Motivated by self, lifted in love, yeah.
Welcome to season 3 of the Learning to Love show, and I'm your host, April B. Love. This season, get ready for exclusive stories and behind the scenes insights. Oh my gosh, you don't want to miss this season. But today, we want to roll out the red carpet. I'm telling you, for some special guests that are near and dear to my heart. Guys, give it up for the legacy, the daughters of legendary Russell O.D.B. Jones. Hey, ladies, come on in. Hello, hello.
Peace.
Yes. How are you guys doing today?
Good. How you doing?
Oh my gosh, I am doing wonderful. I tell you, it is such an honor to be sharing the same stage with the two of you.
Thank you. Thank you.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. Awesome. Well, we're gonna just get started right away. But before we dive into today's conversation, can you tell us a bit about yourself and what's been keeping you busy lately? And we can just get started with you.
Okay. Well, I can start what's keeping me busy. I got 2 children, a 6 and 8-year-old, and they keep me busy from 5 in the morning all the way to 10 o'clock at night.
Perfect.
Yeah, and then as far as what I'm doing, I own my own company called Chill Pills, Peelz, Chill Pills.
Okay.
And it's a clothing line company that I have, that I sell different things. Shirts, sweat hoodies, and I'm just expanding. So it's pretty new. It's been open for about a month and a half, so really new.
Okay. Wow. So chill peels.
Yes.
Wow, that is awesome. Awesome. So Taniqua, tell us just a bit about yourself and a little bit about what's been keeping you busy as well.
So first, well, a little about myself, and what has been keeping me busy. Really, the same thing like my sister, my children. I have a 13-year-old, a 6-year-old, and just caring for them. And also, I had to take a little step back. I was setting up a traveling art gallery for my father called 36 Chambers. So, me and my team was figuring all those things out. But the documentary that we just had out on A&E, that came out August the 25th. So, we did a lot of traveling for that, and I had to put that aside for a little bit. And then also mental health. I needed to take a step back from myself and get in myself and figure out exactly what works for me and what I want to do, on my end, because I just be entangled with ODB, Taniqua, and I just got to figure out Taniqua.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. And I know that is a lot to uphold, right?
Yeah.
Being the children of ODB, right? So I know that's a lot to uphold, but definitely an honor.
Yes.
Definitely an honor. Awesome, awesome. And so you mentioned that you've done some things like just around the mental health arena. So can you share a moment when you first became like aware of like the importance of mental health?
So, what I became aware is, okay, how old was I? Because truly, I didn't understand exactly what was going on, especially like with my dad.
Okay.
Like in the time, like before, okay, for example, before he passed away, I would speak to him on the phone and ask him why he doing the things that he does. And I feel like that was a man crying out for help.
Yes.
And me not knowing exactly what it is, just wanting my dad. So I'm trying to think of a time that really pinpoint where I recognized it. It's not until when I was really older, and more so really the documentary.
Wow.
I worked in mental health for years, over I want to say like 16, 17 years in mental health, and I love what I do. But actually, like, seeing a documentary, my father's documentary, which is A Tale of Two Dirties, um, that right there, it just shows a man that needed help, that was crying out for help, didn't have he was a happy person and wanted to please everybody, help his family, but in that time in need, he also needed that help, and so it just showed a light that I'm like, "Oh, yeah, my dad, he was crying out for help." So, yeah. So, yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. And, it's really important that we take a look at individuals, our community, people in our immediate community, and see that need. When someone's crying out for help, it's up to us to look outside of whatever their immediate actions are and to step up,
Yeah. Say
and to
something.
step up. So, what about yourself? Like, when did you first really, really understand like the importance of mental health?
Um, I started to really notice it when me and my children father broke up. And because at that time I was going through a lot of mental breakdowns,
Okay.
I can say. And it took me the time that I had to just come back, sit down, to realize I didn't know myself. When you're in a relationship, you kind of lose yourself, especially depending on the type of relationship that you're in. And I literally took 15 months to figure out who I was. And I'm like, that's the time that I really started understanding what mental health was. It's not only controlled substance, can be being controlled by somebody. There's a lot of different categories when it comes to mental health. So I would say maybe about 8 years ago is when I started really realizing what it was.
Well, yeah, absolutely. And we just have to care for ourselves mentally,
Yeah.
the same way, if you have a headache or you break your leg or something or sprain, something, you want to go to a doctor. We have to do the same mentally and we have to be proactive.
Yeah.
So I'm that girl that regardless to what, I've had a few months where there's been a gap, but I'm proactive in my mental health. So I actually see a therapist and I love to see therapists because you're being proactive. So when something happens, it kind of helps you get a handle of it like beforehand. And it's so important. Um, I know just being like the children of a legend, right? A public figure. That kinda I know that's a lot, it may be a lot for you. So how do you guys handle the pressure that comes with you being the children of ODB?
Um, I used to always say I'm normal, regular. I'm like, yeah. And I'm like, but when I sit there and say that, um, I never thought about I'm like, well, okay. I got a whole father that is a celebrity. And, there's people looking at me. We had somebody that came, my mom was parking, she pulls up where we live at now. And it was a man hiding behind a tree taking pictures. And we never had that before. And I don't know. And she was so scared she ran in. And, when I sit here and I say I'm regular, and I'm just a normal person, no, I'm not. And that's not to sound cocky or anything because dangers come with that, you know? So it's just the pressures of being the daughter of Old Dirty Bastard, it's a lot. It's a lot of mentally, like trying to prepare yourself, trying to find yourself, um, just being around certain people and knowing who to let into your circle, not to let in your circle, who's going to be a danger to you, knowing who's right for you. So it's like we have to basically do a double check before we really put ourselves out there. And that's across the board. We can't just walk out. Maybe people that I'll be outside and they recognize who I am. And that's a little, scary because I'm like, I don't know you.
Yes.
So it comes with a lot. But at the same time, my dad did keep us out of that light. And we didn't start coming out until after he passed. With my mom, Iceline Jones, she's administrator of the state, building up everything. And so getting us out in the light and just doing different things, taking different interviews. So it's good. It comes with a lot of good perks, but at the same time, it's still scary. So yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. You have anything to add on to that?
Yeah. With me, I kind of just went with the flow of things. When people like, oh my gosh, I don't believe you ODB's daughter. And I'm like, I'm so broke. So, God, so everything you say.
Don't claim it. Buke it. Oh my gosh. Don't claim it. Let me tell you something. I just put my babies through college, right? So two kids, both are done with college, and the entire time we called her a rich college student. We spoke it into existence.
Yeah.
And the moment she graduated, she was extended a full-time offer. Well, she went into an internship and a full. So we're gonna speak it into you're not broke. Don't say words. That word is
temporary.
Yep, absolutely. Don't say it. Don't say it. Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. But yeah, definitely. You do just kind of going off of what you say. You do have to really be very cognizant of individuals who you let in. So it's just like you really have to be and lean on like that spirit of discernment. Like a lot of times you could feel it. You can feel it. And so that's one of the things that I always continue to try to utilize because when you utilize your skills, right? Those God-given talents, those skills, um they grow. They get stronger and they continue to get stronger, right?
Yeah.
So always lean on that because yeah, definitely that is, definitely something to think about there. And so now we talked about like, mental health and that's typically one of the things again that's pretty much a stigma in our communities,
Yeah.
right? And we don't talk about it enough in our communities. And I just think that it's time for us to feel comfortable with not being okay. So, in other words, I know it sounds cliche, you hear it all the time. Now you hear it. It's okay not to be okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's okay not to be okay. And when you're not okay, it's time for you to push back, put some things down. So there are so many different options there. But tell me just how are you maintaining your mental health? Like how are you maintaining your mental health?
Okay. So now the wonderful man I'm with right now. So he checks me. He be like, listen, you have to get sleep. Like that's his number one thing because he sees that my life can be very chaotic and just moving everywhere and running and then going to bed for like 2, 3, 4 hours and waking back up and doing the same thing. He's like, you need sleep. And I didn't know that you getting sleep, it basically is healing your body. Your everything that's going wrong or on or whatever, it's basically just going and working and getting you back to where you need to be. And also just finding time for myself and saying no.
Yes.
Saying no. And my mom, she would be like, you always say yes to everybody. You always say yes to everybody. And I'm at the phase where now, listen, I can't do it.
Right.
I got to get myself together. And that's what I'm working on now. Everyone's like, what you doing? I'm like, me, working on me.
Yes.
Yeah, saying no and just working on me.
Awesome. Awesome. Wonderful. Well, guys, stay tuned. We will be right back after this short break. Stay tuned.
Help your child explore big feelings in a beautiful new way with Brave Hearts and Strong Minds, a powerful book about children's mental health awareness. Brave Hearts and Strong Minds, a mental health guide for African American children. Teaching your child early, the journey of the mind. Pre-order now at www.aprilblove.com.
To build that relationship with God. Because if they can just keep coming running to April and get everything they need, then how can they trust, and learn to trust in God? No, they trusting in April and they shouldn't be trusting in me. I can't save them. Trust in God. So
We're standing alone.
Thank you guys so much for staying tuned in. Again, this is the Learning to Love show. I'm your host, April B. Love. And I have today with me the children, well, some of the children of the legendary ODB Russell Jones. So I have with me Shaquita Jones as well as Taniqua Jones. And we were just talking about mental health. So we want to really just pick right back up where we stopped off at. So yeah, you were beginning to talk about just some things on how you're maintaining your mental health. So feel free to just continue.
Okay. So I did want to say this. All the mothers out there, Um, I know I feel like, I don't know, I want to say older parents because my mom, she'd be like, well, you always supposed to be with your children 24/7. I don't believe in that. I believe sometimes you have to take, if it's a few hours, if you can get that, if it's a walk around the corner, or if it's a little weekend thing, I've taken like just a little weekend just to get away and just me time, because I feel like that's so important because you have so many things going on. Being a mother, trying to figure out how you're gonna bring income in, what's your next move, and also being able to help everybody. Is like, when do you have that time to really help yourself and get yourself back to a mental space? Because I find myself to start breaking down. I'm like, okay, we can't get to that place. So how are we gonna get out of that space? So I have to give myself that time. So I tell all mothers, even fathers, take time for yourself. And it's not a bad thing. You're not a bad parent if you take time for yourself. Because if you don't take time for yourself and make yourself the best person you can't be that for somebody else. So, yeah.
Wow. Wow. No, you're absolutely right. You're absolutely right. Especially as parents, you really do. You do have to take the time for yourself. Awesome. Awesome. So Shaquita, tell me just a bit about how you maintain your mental health. What are some of the things that you do?
Um, I I love anime. So when I am feeling down, I'm get into my moods. Either I'm putting on some Japanese music or some Korean music, because certain vibes just hit right, or it's like sometimes it's really, really happy music that just makes me feel good. Or I sit down and put on Crunchyroll and I watch anime all day and I kick my children out the blanket and leave me alone. That's one of the ways. And when when I get myself in tune with designing, because I do a lot of clothes. I design all of my clothes. Everything that you'll see on the website was done by me. So I love designing. So I'm constantly just, let me just do something new, because I'll keep my mind focused on it. And just being left alone, like my sister said, me time. Like if I need my weekend, my phone is not gonna be a silent. But my children, they already know they're not gonna call me unless it's really, really important.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, no, I totally get it. I totally get it. We have to kind of shut down even, and we have to have those backup people, right? So, everybody knows I got the two kids, right? But they're adults, right? And I tell you, even just last night, I said I really need to get some rest. I'm exhausted. My phone is going on silent, but if you need help, reach out to this person. If you need help, reach out to that person, because I need some rest. I'm exhausted, right? So we have to do that. We really do. We have to know when and when to shut down. And I love that you have the different genres that you listen to, and then you also use your skills, your abilities, your passion to and I love this. I love the fit, guys. We just have to take a moment for we just gotta take a moment for all the outfits today, okay? Now I'm representing Park Hill. You see it, see my face on the $20 sky.
Alan,
Okay, so I'm representing Park Hill for the Wu Tang, okay? And okay, we
this is
send
the black. It's the boots.
stick to that. I'm loving it. I'm loving it. And here you go, and you put everything together and love the shoes as well. So okay, guys, we had to take a moment for the outfits today. Okay, because it's therapeutic though, for real.
Oh yeah.
Seriously, sometimes it could be therapeutic. Now we can't shop too much, right? Because then that becomes unhealthy. But yeah, just kind of honing in on those skills and so forth. So very, very,
Those
very
pieces, the
yeah,
special pieces
yeah.
you need, and some people may not understand it. They not to fashion or whatever. And I don't. I'm not a name brand person.
Okay.
So I don't know all the name brands, but when I see something I like, and I'm the person that, like, for photo shoots or premieres, anything for my family, I'm the one dressing everybody. I'm picking out clothes. My sister, she'll do her thing, my brother too, but more than likely I'm like, okay, I'm pulling. I'm pulling pieces, finding things, and I'm putting everything together. That's my thing. So
Yeah.
that's my thing.
A woman of many talents. Absolutely, absolutely. Awesome, awesome. And so I want to talk more about like the stigma I was mentioning earlier, right? So the stigma surrounding mental health in our communities, and is often overlooked, right? So we know that once someone has some mental issues. A lot of time is being pushed off as, oh, they're crazy and so forth. So what can we do? Like, what do you feel that we can do? What are some of the steps, or just one step? What can we do um to just bring more awareness, like bring more not just putting it on a poster, but really just like what we're doing now. I know that's one step, right? Really talking about it, and we're not here standing on a podium, with the microphone, like this. We're relaxed and we're talking about it. But so just tell me, and if you want to take that one first. I don't know which one, but yeah.
Well, the first step, people need to be aware of it, because what I realize from it goes to generations. People are accustomed to doing different things, so their children become accustomed to that. And it's like when you are yelling, and your children, they follow that, they see that, but not realizing all of that yelling is mentally messing with your children.
Yeah.
They could become angry. You never know. It's like whatever actions that we take, it will fall onto our children. And we don't know that until we are too old to realize that when they get older, like, dang, I did that to my child. And if there was anything I could have done to change it, I would have. So a lot of people have to be aware of it when your children are young, because that's the best time. Whatever problems you have, don't put that on your children, because then they'll grow with those problems plus additional problems that now they got to handle because you didn't handle your problems. So yeah, start original.
Yeah. Yeah, no, that's really, really important. Really important, starting with the children. I really love that. Breaking those generational toxic patterns, just really breaking those generational toxic patterns.
You know, based off what she said, a lot of people, they, grow up and they're in their own households, and a lot of times people don't realize the things that they are doing until you step out and you see more. I feel like people are so conditioned to staying in their own environments instead of stepping out and really seeing other walks of life and how things are. Because once you do that, you're like, oh, you know what? I could probably change this. I could do this. Or let's try that. Let's speak to this person. But to answer your question, I feel like it starts with a conversation,
Yeah.
like what we're doing right now. It starts with a conversation, and um, just reaching out to people and noticing, recognizing when somebody needs help. And I think that's also kind of hard, because sometimes you don't know. You don't know when somebody is calling out for help. And I just feel like a lot of times we do see things, we're like, oh, they be all right.
Mm-hmm.
You shouldn't say they'll be all right, and it's not for you to take on, but it's okay to be like, you know what, let me just chat. And for me, and having my father be, older bastard that had things, I wish there was more services, and I wish there were like people. And I'll say this: when my father was coming out of prison,
Okay.
my mom and Riza had set up for him to go to a rehabilitation center, but it didn't happen because he ended up going with his mom, and they went and did their own thing. But just having a plan, having a plan, and having those right people support wise. And if they don't have that, try to speak out and reach out to, treatment centers. And that right there is kind of hard, because it's like, where are those people at? How do I get in contact? So for me, I would like to have, sit down and speak to psychologists, therapists, how we can come up with something to, you know, get this to the people so they can know that these services are available to them. So I don't know. I guess start with conversation, but get to a place where it's easy for somebody just to pick up at something and say, okay, I need help.
Yeah.
We need to make it easy for
Mm.
people to stop.
Yeah. No, I love that. I love that. That is so true. And it's good that, Riza and your mother did at least set it up, right? And that shows that someone was aware. Someone knew that there was a need, a gap, right? And but we can try and reach out to do things, but it's also about the person accepting too. But we also, I think another thing too, we have to continue to partner with each other too,
Yeah.
right? Because you may tell me no today, but tomorrow you may have a change, have a change in thought process regarding that. But yeah. Yeah, and I totally agree with both of you guys. It's just we just really, really need to do a bit more with, of course, starting in the home, breaking those patterns, and then also having that, community, that support system, and just increasing, continue to increase the awareness there. Absolutely, absolutely.
And I also know from experience when you want to sit down and talk to somebody, a psychiatrist, that costs money. Even if you have Medicaid and stuff like that, people be scared. Like, okay, if I ask for a psychiatrist and I'm on Medicaid, I have my children. If they find out these things about me, are they gonna take my children? So there's just so many different things that once that kind of prevents people from wanting to get help because then they too scared because the government will get involved. And let's face it, government getting involved, something bad is going to happen half the time. So it's just so many things that keeps people from not wanting to get help because of that fear of something important being taken from them. And if there was a way to give people help without having any type of consequences, then I think that's what the real focus needs to be, because that whole fear is the reason why a lot of people won't seek help, or they don't think they need help. And that's another thing. They don't think they need help because it's so far away from them. Like, no, I don't need that help because it's not there. It's just there's a big border. You got to climb over that fence, but they're not gonna do that because you got the side of the fence. It's got another fence.
Yeah. I hope I'm making sense. Perfect sense. Yeah, there's a lot of gaps, and there's a lot of fear, and you're right. And I think, I'm an Aries, so natural born leader, right? And I have a very strong spirit of discernment. So, and I'm to myself most of the time. So when I'm around people, I can sense things. But the time that I am most vulnerable is when I have to go to the doctor for something. Right. Like if I, and so what I did was to help myself, and hopefully me speaking this, verbalizing this will help someone else. But what I did was I took my time to find everyone that I need to see. So my optometrist, my orthodontist, my therapist, thank goodness I don't need a psychiatrist right now. No medication, but still, but you need a therapist, right? So you need a psychologist. Everyone, my PCP, OBGY, everyone, I literally cherry pick them. Cherry pick them. Absolutely. So we are wrapping up this episode, but stay tuned for the next episode, part 2 of this conversation. Okay. Thanks for tuning in, guys.